Hello, good day everyone. Today we will be talking about one of the most important eras in Philippine political history, the Commonwealth. So before we start, let's define first what is Commonwealth. So Commonwealth, it is independent country or community, especially a democratic republic. So ang ibig sabihin nito, ang Commonwealth daw ay kilala rin bilang isang republika na malaya o nagsasarili. And if we say a democratic republic, this is a form of government operating on principles and adapted from a republic and a democracy. At alam naman nating lahat na ang demokrasya ay isang sistemang pamahalaan na kung saan ang mga mamamayan ang humahawak ng kapangyarihan sa pamamagitan ng mga kinatawan na ipinili nila sa malayang halalan or through elections. And we also have here the other meaning of Commonwealth. It is a nation, state, or other political unit such as one founded on law and united by compact or tacit agreement of the people for the common good, or tacit na kasunduan ng mga tao para sa kabutihan. So here's a little background of 1935 Commonwealth Constitution. So the 1935 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before the granting of the Philippines independence with American-inspired Constitution. And the 1935 Constitution was written in 1934 and adopted by the Commonwealth of the Philippines during 1935 to 1946 and later used by the Third Republic during 1946 to 1972. And after the Treaty of Paris, the Philippines was subject to the power of the United States of America, effectively the new colonizers of the country. So after Spanish colonization, yung Amerika naman ang bagong sumakop sa ating bansa, the new colonizers of the country. So from 1898 to 1901, the Philippines would be under a military government until a civil government would be put into place. So the signing of the Treaty of Paris on December 10, 1898, the Spain ceded or give up our land, which is the Philippines, to the United States. So beginning in 1901, the military government was replaced by a civilian government. So ano-ano nga ba ang mga pangyayari bago na itatag ang Philippine Commonwealth? So bago sumapit ang 1935, itinalaga na ng United States of America si Frank Murphy bilang Gobernador General ng Pilipinas upang mamahala sa ating bansa. So, since tayo nga ay sinakop ng mga Amerikano, hindi na nakakagulat kung sila ang namamahala sa ating bansa sa panahong iyon. So, during that time, two acts of the United States Congress were passed that may be considered to have qualities of constitutionality. So, una ay ang Philippine Organic Act. So, ang Philippine Bill of 1902 Cooper Act ay isinulat o ginawa ni Henry A. Cooper. It was the first organic law of the Philippines Island that provided for the creation of a popularly elected assembly. Ang batas na ito ay ang unang batas na nag-provide para sa paglikha ng isang tanyag na napiling asembleya. Ito ang nag-provide ng paggawa ng binubotong asembleya ng Pilipinas. The act specified the legislative power would be vested in a bicameral legislature composed of the Philippine Commission as the upper house of the Philippines and the Philippine Assembly of lower house. Ang tinutukoy sa batas na ito na ang kapangyarihan pambatasan ay ibibigay sa bicameral legislature or ipagkakalob ito sa upper house and lower house Philippine Assembly. At ang key provision sa batas na ito ay Bill of Rights for Filipinos or karapatan ng mga Pilipino. Nagtatalakay dito ng pagbibigay ng mga karapatan sa malayang pananalita at pagpapahayag, kalayaang huwag mabilanggo dahil sa pagkautang, pagiging pantay-pantay sa harap ng batas at kalayaan mula sa pagkaalipin. And the second is appointment of 2 non-voting Filipino resident commissioners as representative to the United States House of Representatives. So, pag-a-appoint ng 2 Pilipinong residente commissioners na magre-representa sa Pilipinas sa Kongreso ng Estados Unidos. Dagdag ko lang, sa bisa ng batas na ito, itinatag ang Asembleya o Batasan ng Pilipinas noong Hulyo 30, 1907, ginanap ang halalan at ang pagpapasinaya ay ginanap noong Oktubre 16, 1907 sa Grand Opera House. Naging speaker si Sergio Osmeña at si Manuel L. Quezon naman ang pinuno ng higit na napakaraming kasapi. Nagsilbi itong saligang batas ng Pilipinas sa ilalim ng pananakop ng Estados Unidos hanggang sa mapalitan ito ng Batas Jones noong 1916. So, the second act that functioned as a constitution was the Philippine Autonomy Act of 1916 or also known as Jones Law. Ang gumawa nito ay si William Atkinson Jones. The Jones Law modified the structure of the Philippine government through removal of the Philippine Commission, replacing it with a state that served as upper house and its members elected by the Filipino voters, the first truly elected national legislature. At ito ang unang hakbang sa pagsasarili ng Pilipinas. This was the another organic act that passed by the United States Congress. The Jones Law created the first fully Philippine legislature, so the law was enacted by the United States Congress. So, the Jones Law was the framework for more autonomous government with certain privilege reserved to the United States to protect its sovereign rights and interests in preparation for their grant of independence. So, the law also changed the Philippine legislature into Philippines' first fully elected body. So, elections were held during October 3, 1916 to the newly created Philippine Senate, and the election to the Philippines Assembly had already been held on June 6, 1916, and those elected automatically members of the House of Representatives. And the Jones Law, it explicitly declared the purpose of the United States to end their sovereignty over the Philippines and recognize Philippine independence as soon as a stable government can be established. So, ang Batas Jones o ang Philippine Autonomy Act ay ang batas na nagbibigay sa mga Pilipino ng kalayaang magsarili at pangako ng pagkakaloob ng kasarinlan sa Pilipinas sa lalong madaling panahon kapag nagkaroon na ang bayan ng isang matatag na pamahalaan. Ito ang pinakamahalaga at pinakamataas na batas ng Pilipinas simula noong 1916 hanggang 1935 nang pagtibayin ang saligang batas ng Pilipinas. And the next law was the Hair Horse Cutting Act of 1932. Ito ay ang batas pangkalayaan. At ang gumawa nito ay si Butler B. Hare, Harry B. Hose, and Bronson M. Cutting. So, the Hair Horse Cutting Act of 1932 was the first United States law passed setting a process and a date for the Philippines to gain independence from the United States. So, the final goal of this law is granting a complete independence to the Philippines. Ito ang naging daan tungo sa kasarinlan o kalayaan ng bansang Pilipinas. However, the bill did not make several key concessions. Di sinaad dito ang pagbitaw ng mga Amerikano sa ilang mahahalagang aspeto, gaya ng pagwakas ng taripa ng asukal at paggawad ng mga malayang pakikipagkalakaran ng bagong malayang Pilipinas. And with the efforts of the Filipino Independence Mission led by Sergio Osmeña and Manuel Rojas, the law promised Philippine independence after 13 years, but reserved several military and naval bases for the United States as well as imposed tariffs and quotas on the Philippine imports. So the bill was opposed by then the Senate President Manuel L. Quezon and consequently rejected by the Philippine Senate. So dahilan kaya noong 1934, isang bagong batas ay ipinasa ng Kongreso ng Estados Unidos. At ito ay ang Batas Tidings-McDuffie or also known as the Philippine Independence Act of 1934. At ito ang huling batas na ipinatupad noong panahon ng mga Amerikano. This act was authored by Senator Millard E. Tidings of Maryland and Representative John McDuffie of Alabama, and this signed by American President Franklin D. Roosevelt. So the Tidings-McDuffie Act, it was passed by the United States Congress that provided authority and defined mechanism for the establishment of a formal constitution by a constitutional convention. So, ito ang batas na nagbigay sa Pilipinas ng kalayaan. Nakasaad sa Batas Tidings-McDuffie ang plano ng kasarinlan ng Pilipinas sa loob ng 10 taong transition period na magsisimula sa pagkakabuo ng gobyernong Commonwealth. Ang personal kong pagtingin dito ay parang paglalagay ng training wheels upang matutong magbisiklita ang bata na kung saan ang Pilipinas ay ginagabayan ng Estados Unidos sa pagbabalangkas ng mga batas upang ihanda ito sa kasarinlan. And the members of the convention were elected and held their first meeting on July 30, 1934. With Claro M. Recto anonymously elected as president. So this act generally received large-scale support in the Philippines, kaya inaprobahan ito sa Senado ng ating bansa. The primary source preamble of the 1935 Commonwealth, the Filipino people imploring the aid of divine providence in order to establish a government that shall embody their ideals, conserve and develop the patrimony of the nation, promote the general welfare, and secure to themselves and their posterity the blessings of independence under a regime of justice, liberty, and democracy to ordain, promulgate this Constitution. And now let's go back to the topic. The Constitution created the Commonwealth of the Philippines that governed our country from 1935 to 1946. So, the Philippine Independence Act, ang Constitution na ito ay ang gumawa ng Commonwealth sa Pilipinas at ito ang nag-govern sa ating bansa noong 1935 hanggang 1946. And also, it is a transitional administrative to prepare the country towards its full achievement of independence. So, ito din ay ang paghahanda ng ating bansa towards its full achievement of becoming an independent country. So, ang paghahanda ng ating bansa sa kabuuhang pagsasarili. And in this act, it originally provided for unicameral National Assembly with a president and a vice president elected to a 6-year term without re-election. So sa Batas Commonwealth, dito nagsimula ang pag-e-elect ng presidente at vice-presidente na meron lang 6-year term without re-election. At hanggang ngayon, alam naman nating lahat, nakikita naman natin na yung mga nanalo bilang presidente at vice-presidente ay meron lang 6-year term sa paglilingkod ng ating bansa. And it is amended in 1940 to have a bicameral Congress or to have a House Representative and a Senate, as well as the creation of an independent electoral commission. So, to create independent electoral commission, so this one are the one who takes decisions on every aspect of conduct and control of elections from the announcement of elections to the declarations of results. And the right to suffrage or to vote were originally afforded to male citizens of the Philippines who are 21 years of age or over and are able to read and write. So, it originally afforded sa mga lalaking citizen ng Pilipinas 21 years of age pataas na marunong magbasa at magsulat. So, the draft of the Constitution was approved by the Constitutional Convention on February 8, 1935 and ratified by the U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt on March 25, 1935. So, the first thing that required for the new Commonwealth government was a new Constitution. So, na siyang magiging sandigan ng independenteng nasyon. So, yun na nga, noong July 30, 1934, a Constitutional Convention was governed in Manila. So, after several months of deliberation, yun na nga, isang bagong saligang batas ang inaprubahan noong Pebrero 8, 1935 at ipinagtibay ni US President Franklin D. Roosevelt noong March 25, 1935. So, pinagtibay na nga ito ang bagong batas na Commonwealth. And yun na nga, pagkatapos nun, isang halalan sa pagkapangulo ang ginanap noong September 16, 1935. The candidates included former President Emilio Aguinaldo and the religious leader Gregorio Aglipay at iba pa. At dinaluhan ito ng 1,000,000 Pilipino upang ihalal ang Pangulo at ang pangalawang Pangulo ng bansa. At ang nanalo ay ang kandidato ng Partido Nacionalista na si Manuel L. Quezon as a president and si Sergio Osmeña naman ang nanalo bilang vice-presidente. So, yun na nga, inamyendahan nila ang Commonwealth 1935 Constitution upang pahintulutan sila na muling mahalal sa pagkapangulo at pagkapangalawang pangulo ng ating bansa. Alam naman natin na ang Commonwealth 1935 Constitution ay meron lang 6-year term ang presidente at ang vice president. So pagtapos na ang kanilang termino ay hindi na sila pwedeng tumakbo ulit, hindi na sila pwedeng ma-re-elect. So inamyendahan nila ito kasi gusto nilang mahalal at gusto nilang paglingkuran ulit ang ating bansa. At sa pagkatatag ng Commonwealth, nagkaroon ng malaking pagbabago. So ano nga ba ang mga programa sa pamamahala ni Manuel L. Quezon at Sergio Osmeña? Una ay ang National Defense Act. The purpose of this act was to create an independent Philippine military. Ito ay naglalayo na pangalagaan ang seguridad ng bansa at pagtatatag ng hukbong sandatahan ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng mga regular force or sundalo. At ang sunod ay Women's Suffrage Act, women to have the right to vote in political elections. So, kinalala na ang karapatan ng mga kababaihan na bumoto, nabigyan na ang mga kababaihan ng pagkakataong gamitin ang kanilang boto sa halalan dahil sa panahon ng Espanyol ay hindi sila nabigyan ng tsansang makapag-aral dahil ang gampanin na itinatag lamang sa kanila ay ang mga gawaing pangbahay lamang. So, sa panahon ng Commonwealth, maraming babae na ang naging professional at nakatulong ng malaki sa ekonomiya ng bansa. At ang kasunod ay ang katarungang panlipunan. It is the responsibility of the government to safeguard the welfare of the people against the abusive citizens and give the people what they deserve. So, ibig sabihin nito, ito ay upang masiguro na responsibilidad ng pamahalaan na pangalagaan ang kapakanan ng mga tao laban sa mapang-abusong mga mamamayan at ibigay sa mga tao ang nararapat para sa kanila. So, dito nagsimula ang minimum wage, 8 oras kada araw na trabaho ng mga manggagawa sa publiko at pribadong industriya. Dito din ay nagsimula ang Court of Industrial Relations, National Rice and Corporation, and as well as the National Relief Administration. At sa panahon ni Manuel L. Quezon, itinatag ang pambansang wika. Inatasan ang National Assembly na tumukoy ng isang wika sa napakaraming dialekto ng bansa na magiging ating wikang pambansa. So, after ng ilang buwan na pinag-aralan, minungkahi nito na gamitin ang Tagalog bilang batayan ng pambansang wika. So, noong December 30, 1937, inaprubahan ni President Quezon na Tagalog na ang ating pambansang wika. At ang huli ay ang Homestead Act. Ito ay tumutukoy sa sukat na maaaring tirhan ng isang mamamayan. So, sa panahon ng Commonwealth, ang pinakamalaking tinuturing na pagbabago ay ang demokratik na nasyon sa buhay ng mga Pilipino. Dahil nga bukod sa pagbabagong anyo ng pamahalaan ng Pilipinas, ay binago na rin ng demokrasya ang sistema ng pamumuhay, pagpapahalaga, pakikitungo at pananaw ng mga Pilipino. Kung ikukumpara natin sa panahon ng Espanyol at Amerikano, mas maganda ang naging buhay ng mga Pilipino nung ang sumakop sa atin ay ang mga Amerikano. So malaki ang ibinago ng Commonwealth Constitution sa pamumuhay ng mga Pilipino At dahil sa Commonwealth, nagkaroon din ng tsansa ang mga Pilipino na bumoto sa kanilang gustong Pangulo at sa kanilang gustong maging Vice Presidente na malakad sa buong bansa. At sobrang laking pagbabago ang nangyari talaga noong panahon ng Commonwealth. But sad to say, the Commonwealth was briefly interrupted by the events of the World War II with the Japanese occupying the Philippines. So nahinto yung Commonwealth nung nag-colonize yung mga Japanese sa ating bansa. But afterward, upon the liberation, the Philippines was declared an independent republic on July 4, 1946. So that is all about the history of 1935 Commonwealth Constitution. I hope you learned a lot from this topic. And this is me, Ann E. Elyama. Thank you for watching and listening.